do. So it's budget season, right? City councils and states and everybody's getting their budgets shored up for fiscal year 21-22. And if you thought that the police were being defunded en masse in cities across America, even in democratic cities, you would be a little bit mistaken. Now, there was a piece, if you could pop up D1 for me, Tunde. The New York Times, which I find to be garbage, majority of the time. I mean, there's very little redeemable, in my opinion, about most of these papers of record. The New York Times specifically really only has a couple folks that have really any credibility. White mediocrity. It rues the day at fucking the New York Times. White people get to type whatever the fuck they want at the New York Times and be like, oh my God, Maureen Dowd. Did you read Maureen Dowd's? Oh my Jesus, it was so insightful. Was it? Is she sure about that? Yeah, anyway, so Maureen Dowd. I'm not going to qualify what Maureen Dowd is. You can qualify her for yourself. She had an opinion piece, and let me quote the tweet for you, where she spoke with former police commissioner of the New York Police Department and the Los Angeles Police Department, Bill Bratton. Tells Maureen Dowd, quote, they got what they wanted. They defunded the police. What do they get? Rising crime. Cops leaving in droves. Difficulty recruiting. And the opinion piece goes on to make a number of inaccurate statements regarding how much police have been defunded across the country and trying to correlate that directly to a rise in crime. Now, for people who have been watching the abolition issue, and let me be clear. I mean, I'm only probably coming to abolition. What year is this? 21. Let's say 17, 16. Like really understanding it and putting it together like, oh, because my whole thing was, where did he put the rapist? You know what I'm saying? like, okay, we can abolish the police. Where are we going to put the rapist? And they're like, well, where did they put the rapist now? I'm like, oh, nowhere, right? Because somehow police don't seem to be finding the rapists as easily as I think they should be, honestly. Given all the resources that they have, there shouldn't be not now a rapist, child molester, mass shooter. Shouldn't be no motherfucking crime relative to the amount of money that people spend. And these here cities are no different. Now, I said that to say this, that the police have not been defunded. And let me give you an example of exactly how the police have not been defunded. So over the weekend, I think this happened Saturday night up in New York, Washington Square Park, right? First of all, it was hot as shit over the weekend, okay? And people in urban areas tend to come outside when it's real hot, right? Especially at night, especially in a city like New York, especially given the year. New York specifically has endured, not to say that we all didn't endure, but of course, New York was a hot spot for a long time. New York got rocked pretty good by the COVID pandemic. So I can understand people in New York wanting to be outside now. Makes perfect sense. Well, apparently this is now at least the second weekend in a row, maybe even more, that NYPD have come to the Washington Square Park to violently clear the park because the park closes? What? In New York? I didn't think shit closed in New York, but apparently the park closes at a certain time, according to the police, right? And again, this time is in dispute because the time that they cleared the park last week, I believe, was around midnight. In this past Saturday, NYPD came to Washington Square Park to clear it, give or take around 10 o'clock. So I wanted to take a look at these clips, y'all. These clips come from activists Ash Agony and Joshua Potash, and this should be pretty quick. But basically, you're just going to see the cops, lining up with their bikes. Cops were out there in riot gear. Cops were out there arresting people who had literally nothing to do with nothing. So if you thought the police were being defunded, no. The police had all the time all the energy, all the resources in the world to come and fuck with people at Washington Square Park on a Saturday night in New York City when it was hot outside. So Tunde, if we could please take a look at that.
Will be arrested for unlawful assembly. This is the New York City Police Department. Assembly is unlawful. First, if you leave voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you.
If you're gonna fucking run,
Be arrested for unlawful assembly.
if you're gonna run, stop bullshit. If you can.
First, if you leave voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. If you refuse to leave, you will be arrested for unlawful assembly. This is the New York City Police Department. This assembly is unlawful. You are ordered to disperse. If you leave City Police Department. Assembly is unlawful. You are ordered to disperse. If you leave voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. This assembly is unlawful. You are ordered
What
to
fucking
disperse.
assembly, you dumb
Leave
fuck?
voluntarily.
Well done. In Bill de Blasio's New York City, the police out there beating the shit out of people who were trying to enjoy the park on a Saturday night. Defund the fucking police. Abolish the fucking police. Hold on, y'all. Now, maybe y'all can tell me, I don't think that New York was successful in their defund efforts, if I'm not mistaken. I think de Blasio and the city council still managing to keep some dollars there for NYPD. Yes, all cops are bad. No shit, D. Will. All day, baby. All day. But y'all, so while the police in New York were doing that, police in Baltimore City were not doing much. And I don't have this video, and that is totally my fault. There was a video floating around. If I say Fells Point, non-Marylanders, y'all know what I'm talking about. Fells Point is a neighborhood on the water in Baltimore. There's a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants. It is very white. I mean, everyone can hang out in Fells Point, I suppose, but the whites extremely comfortable in Fells Point, and that's whatever. So there's a video of white boys going wild at Fells Point, white boys squaring up with each other in the streets. I mean, and when I say white boys, I don't mean 2 white boys. I mean like 20 white boys. Okay. It was a big street brawl. Okay. Not a cop in sight. Okay. Baltimore police apparently could not be bothered with the massive street fight happening in Fells Point. I guess they figured boys would be boys. But what did happen in Baltimore, by the way, Baltimore City Council or the mayor, there's something very important happening with the Baltimore City budget tonight. Hold on. Genevieve was very nice to send me some notes about specifics. And Genevieve told me, she said, Baltimore, she said, more Or controversially, the spending plan calls for an increase in the budget in police department to $555 million. Now, that idea was panned by dozens of city residents during the city's annual taxpayer night. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. Yes, the taxpayer night, people were saying, hell the fuck no, defund the police. And the city budget officials have said that the increase does not fund new programs, but instead needed to pay for employee health insurance and higher obligations for police pensions. Regardless, $555 million for police budget in a city the size of Baltimore seems like a hell of a lot of money to spend on police, especially considering that, again, for the umpteenth year, let's just say umpteenth, okay, because it's been a bunch of years. Again, city schools in Baltimore had to close yesterday early because of high temperatures in the classroom. I believe it was north of 20 city schools. Tunde, if you could put up, can you put up D4 for me, please? D4. So this Twitter user, I believe, can y'all hear that? It's like thundering and it's thundering over top of my head out here in Maryland. So pardon me if I jump or if the dogs make a sound or whatever. Anyway, so this Twitter user, I believe, works for Baltimore City Schools, right? And this person, is it Brittany? Yeah, Brittany put up the fact that, yes, they had to close Baltimore City Schools early yesterday because so many schools lack air conditioning, which, again, horrifying under normal circumstances, right? That it's June, that there are high school students right now who were not able to take their finals because their classrooms were north of 80 degrees, 90 degrees, some teachers were reporting. And by the way, teachers, some of them were required to remain in their classrooms even after the students were dismissed. Why? For what is the purpose of even keeping teachers in a hot ass building? So that's under normal circumstances, right? That Baltimore Police Department is getting $500 million. Meanwhile, Baltimore City schools are seemingly so underfunded that all schools do not have proper air conditioning. Ergo, they do not have proper ventilation. Therefore, they are not safe for children to be in them anyway to meet the CDC's COVID compliance. Like, make sense. How is it that we have the police out here armed to the teeth, wearing thousands of dollars of tactical gear, but nobody can seemingly fix the air conditioning for the fucking kids, man? People's budgets and city budgets, state budgets, federal government budgets, where their priorities lie is where their morals are, right? Their morals lie with law enforcement and with the police, not for the enrichment and education of our children. So fuck every part of that. Tunde, throw up that other joke for me. I think it's B3. The Baltimore, I think it's Baltimore Brew. Yeah, 30 city schools, y'all, in Baltimore. 30 city schools will be closed for lack of air conditioning. And I can't tell you how many years in a row that this happens. And this happens under Black Democratic mayors led by majority Black Baltimore city councils, under both Democratic governors and Republican governors. One thing I can assure you, okay? Whoever is sitting in the governor's house in Annapolis does not give a fuck about Baltimore, okay? Every single governor has proven this time and time again. D or R, it doesn't matter. They could give a shit about Black people in Baltimore City, y'all. Yes. Can you imagine it? In the 21st century, 30 schools lack air conditioning. And this is all the time. And by the way, let me just throw this in here while I'm pissed at Maryland. I'm mad at Maryland now because Maryland be on that bullshit. We got 5411 casinos in the state of Maryland. And the scam was, oh, we gonna break the kids off. This is going to education fund. And yet, I guess Baltimore, they just must be leaving Baltimore off the education casino profit dividends when it comes to splitting up the casino revenue. They just be forgetting to give Baltimore they shit. Anyway, that shit make me mad. And did I have another place to go after that? My memories have departed me. I was mad about the schools, no AC, and the goddamn police. Oh, real quick. Yes, I totally want to get to this. So, wait. Out in Los Angeles, guys, they ratified a budget with, I believe, damn near a third of this budget going towards police and a very small part of the budget going towards stuff like housing, right? But hold on, where is that? Oh, I hope I didn't delete it. Oh, man, it was a clip of the kids, man. The kids were out here doing amazing things per usual. Schools. Oh, man. Tunde, did you have a clip? Was it a little black girl like talking into a mic? You do? Listen, Tunde's awesome. What's the name of the people? I'm sorry. It's LA Students Deserve Better, right? I think that's the name of the organization. Guys, this is a group of students out in Los Angeles who have been advocating for the defunding of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department to occupy their schools. Listen, I know I'm high. I'm getting my shit together. Don't laugh. I'm getting it together. So these kids have been out in the streets for the past couple of days. I even think they had an action plan today. It's LA Students Deserve Better. And I want you to listen to this young activist. I don't know her name, but she's going to bring a tear to your eye with her passion, conviction, and her determination to make sure that the 54 something million allocated for the Los Angeles sheriff's deputies to come occupy their schools will be now reallocated to them, the fucking kids. Tunde, let's take a look at that piece.
So as we said, we want a police-free LAUSD, and we gonna keep showing up in the streets until there ain't no cops on campus, until we ain't spending $52 million on school police. So with that, next week, the week after, and the week after, we will be out here every Tuesday of June, showing up every school board meeting, letting them know that we want police out of our schools, and we will not stop until police are gone, and that the money is invested into us as students. Period. And we're going to be out here at 3 p.m. So I expect to see everyone here and everybody watching get out in the streets, be here, support the students, support them.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Oh, we get to end on a high note. That was a super high note, right? Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Let me dab the tear from my eye. Did you see that young soldier out there? Listen, if you're in Los Angeles, they're going to be out there every Tuesday throughout the month of June. They're going to be there at every school board meeting. Los Angeles Unified School District, LAUSD, man. Stand up for the kids. LA Students Deserve Better. Represent for these young organizers, these young activists. Now, ooh, I'm sending y'all out here with a smile.